If you're moving to the Atlanta area and you really want the full city living experience, you're probably considering Midtown. And guess what? I'm going to cover Midtown today. I'm going to give you a walking tour and cover as much as I can and show you just what it is like to live in Midtown to see if you like it or you don't. So hang around. We're talking all about living in Midtown right now. Hey guys, my name is Molly and welcome back to my channel where I talk all things living here in the Atlanta area, and today I'm going to tackle Midtown. You can see the beautiful skyline behind me. I love seeing this view. It's one of my favorite views here in the Piedmont Park area, and that's where I am standing to start off this tour. Piedmont Park is like a 181-acre park that is right next to Midtown. So that is one thing that is great about living in the Midtown area, is you can pop over from Midtown into Piedmont Park, get some green space, a place to run, take your dog. There's a dog park, there's a pool, there's playground equipment, there's the botanical garden. So there are a lot of amenities right here in Piedmont Park that you can easily access. And at the edge of Piedmont Park is the Atlanta Beltline, which is another amenity that you can access from Midtown. It's a little further, depending on where you live in Midtown. It could take you a mile or maybe a mile and a half, but it's not too far away. Let me put a Midtown on a map so you can see exactly where it is. If you haven't figured it out already, it is like at the center of the city of Atlanta. So it's a great spot to land if you're moving here and want to be in the center of everything, in the action of everything. You're wanting that city life buzz, well then Midtown is definitely a place to consider. As far as travel times, to get to the airport, you're looking around 17 minutes. Downtown, probably around 5 minutes, and get up over to Buckhead for some shopping, that would be around 18 minutes. So very convenient spot, and hey, if you live in Midtown, you can easily pop on that Marta line and ride your way all the way into the airport. More on the Marta stuff later, but let me get to walking now. If you've been following me for a while, this is not your first Midtown video that you've seen of me do. In fact, I shot a Midtown video a couple years ago, but I thought I would do a refresher since it's been a little while, so I thought I'd just shoot a new one. Now, it is hot today, so hang with me. If I start sweating a lot, it's just going to be a 90-degree day, so I'm going to bear the temperature, but I'm just going to walk, kind of make a big loop around the Midtown area and just show you what there is to do in Midtown. This isn't going to be a video about condos and all the different types of condos. I have a separate video on my channel. I have a lot of videos about Midtown on my channel, so you can definitely go check those out. But I'm going to make my way over to first the Midtown High School, and then we'll walk you through kind of the Garden District where you can find some single-family homes. And then you'll hit all of the high-rises in Midtown. That's where you're going to find the majority of people living are in those high-rise condo buildings, apartments, or there's some mid-rise, low-rise condo buildings as well. Let's start going and show you Midtown. A couple more things about the Piedmont Park area. On weekends, when it is nice out, see this huge field right here? This will be packed with people out picnicking or throwing frisbees, out with their dogs. A lot of people come out here to exercise, myself included. I love running around here. If you ran the perimeter of the whole Piedmont Park area, I believe that's around 3 miles. So it's an excellent place to get a workout in, and definitely a place where I feel comfortable coming by myself to take a run. I get a lot of people asking me about, are there a lot of homeless people that hang out in the park? You'll see a few here and there, but I wouldn't say it's like an oversaturated amount by any means. But Piedmont Park is definitely a host to a ton of festivals, from art festivals to music festivals. So if you live in Midtown, you have basically front row seats, because you know, parking around here can be a bear during a festival time, so you can just walk out of your condo or your house and walk over to the park and see what's going on. There's always something going on in Piedmont Park, so it's a great spot to land. While I'm waiting to cross 10th Street and Charles Allen Drive, I thought I'd mention the bike lanes right here. So there's a nice long stretch of bike lanes from Monroe up 10th Street. Now, I will say bike lanes overall in the Midtown area, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give it about maybe a 6.9. There's definitely quite a few bike lanes. but some of them kind of go for a little bit and then stop. So certain parts of the Midtown area, you get some good bike lanes, and then other parts you don't. Just kind of depends on where you're at. I feel like they do a good job on certain streets connecting kind of the core Midtown area over to the Georgia Tech campus, but certain streets, like, you kind of just get cut off. I am no pro when it comes to riding bikes in Midtown, but that's just my personal take from what I see in the Midtown area. Now, coming up right here on my left, this is one cool thing about the Midtown area, or in Atlanta in general, is the Midtown High School. It's directly across from Piedmont Park. I mean, how cool is that for some high school students to walk off of the Beltline or from Piedmont Park to their school? So right there, it's a highly rated school. In fact, the schools that are zoned to the Midtown area include the Virginia Highland Elementary, the Howard Middle School, and the Midtown High School. And they're all ranked very well. So if you're looking at public schools in the Midtown area, if you're going to be living there and you got kids, you're set up pretty well for public schools here. All right, now I'm walking through what they call the Garden District. This is kind of on the southern end of the Midtown area. So if you're kind of wanting a single family home, but you want to live in the center of all of the Midtown stuff, this might be a good option to land in. Now, the single family homes over here, they're going to range anywhere from 800 up to 2 million, maybe even a little over 2 million for a newer construction, modern style build. I'm walking uphill, so I'm kind of huffing and puffing. But here you're going to find that the homes are squeezed in together, but you're going to find a mixture of smaller, older bungalows, like 1,500 square feet. And then you'll find these huge craftsmen that are 4,500, 5,000 square feet. So you get a little bit of everything. And you'll also find a lot of homes where they've kind of done a house hacking and they've made it into a duplex, quadruplex, that kind of thing. So you get a little bit of everything, but I will say it is a very crowded area. You're not going to get a lot of yard space, but if you don't care about that, and you just want to live close to Piedmont Park, all the stuff in Midtown, this is a nice area to land in. In the Garden District, you'll definitely find lots of garden style condo buildings. They're going to be on the older side, but I would say they're generally, in that $300,000 to $400,000 price point. So they're typically a little bit cheaper than if you go into the heart of the Midtown area. Again, they're just going to be kind of mixed in. Like, you've got this condo building behind me here, and then across the street, you've got like these big craftsman style and bungalow style homes. So you get a little mix of everything in the Midtown area. Now let's talk about condos here, because I know you're all itching to see more condos and all that stuff, and I'm making my way up there, trust me. But for average price points for a condo in the Midtown area, if you're looking at a 1-bedroom condo, that'll get you around 789 square feet. You're looking at around $301,000. That's the average. Of course, they can go up to, I'd say, $425,000, maybe $450,000. That is the highest I've seen for a 1-bedroom. If you're looking at a 2-bedroom, average price is $535,000, and that will give you roughly around 1,300 square feet. And of course, they go up from there. There are a couple of condo buildings that are more luxury condo buildings, newer in style, and those can go up to $2 million. But okay, let me keep walking here, and I'm going to kind of take a left and start kind of on the southern end of the Midtown area and make my way north. I don't know how I do it, but it never fails. Every time I decide to go out and make a video, I always pick garbage day. So it is ripe out here when you're walking by those trash cans. I didn't mention townhomes, but I should brush on those real quick. There's not a lot of townhomes in Midtown. There's a handful. You're gonna get a lot of older townhomes that can start in the $500K range, and you'll get some newer ones like the ones right behind me here. Those are gonna be over $1 million, just probably right over $1 million, and they might have a rooftop deck. But yeah, not a ton of townhome options to choose from in the Midtown area. So if you're looking for townhomes, Your best bet is to look in some other areas, but reach out to me. That's what I'm here for, is to help you find a place here in the Atlanta area. So reach out to me. All my contact information is down below. Would love to have a chat with you and see how I can help you move here to the Atlanta area or Midtown or any of the other in-town neighborhoods. Let me keep going. I am almost at the Fox Theater, which is kind of on the southern end of the Midtown area, and I'm about to exit the Garden District. So it's going to get a little bit louder. There's a lot more cars passing through. But I will say one thing about the Garden area is that this is a historic protected area, so you're never going to see high-rise starting to get built in this area. So if you're buying a condo in a high-rise that's along Piedmont Avenue or Juniper Avenue and you've got a view of eastward, you're never going to have another high-rise being built and obstructing your view. So just keep that in mind because that area is protected. I thought I should mention I'm right here at Juniper and 5th Street, and you've got this newer condo building complex that is built here in Midtown. It was built in 2020. There aren't a lot of newer condo buildings built here in Midtown. More on that later. But this one, they're still selling, 2-bedroom, 2-baths. They're going to be in the $600,000 to $700K price point. And then on the other side, you've got this Hadley apartment building. That's one thing. There's a ton of apartment buildings in the Midtown area, but don't reach out to me asking me about apartment hunting advice because I don't deal in the apartment category. So I don't know which buildings are good, bad, has good management, bad management, that kind of thing. But one thing I did want to point out about Juniper Street is they're supposed to be doing a project. I don't know when it's going to happen. I feel like they keep talking about it. But they're going to be narrowing the streets here in Juniper and making it a little bit more pedestrian friendly. So instead of, let's see, we've got 3 or 4 lanes of traffic, it's going to condense down to 2, and there's going to be more bike lanes, area, pedestrian walkways to walk, so it won't feel so busy. So that'll be a nice added feature to people that live along the Juniper Road. All right, so I've made my way down to the southern portion of the Midtown area. I am right off of Ponce de Leon and Peachtree Street, and on my right you've got the Georgian Terrace Hotel. It is a beautiful older hotel with a great restaurant inside, and then across the street you have the iconic Fox Theater. Go watch a show here. They have everything from Broadway to, I saw things flash up for Paw Patrol. So they've got everything in between, and the theater inside is beautiful. And one thing I will say though, when I have clients that come in from out of town and we're driving around Midtown, they generally all tell me, Midtown feels good until you get to like around 5th Street, and then it feels not quite so put together. And I would kind of agree with that. There's a couple of churches around here, and then you get some homeless people hanging around. So, people tend to like stay around 5th Street or north, and probably from 5th Street up to 15th Street, and that's kind of like the core of the Midtown area. There is a Marta station on the very southern end of this neighborhood at North Avenue. I don't really like that Marta station that well, not as put together as other ones, but there are 3 Marta stations in the Midtown area, one off of North Avenue, one off of 10th Street, and then one off of 15th Street. So, that is one thing I will say about Midtown. I say it in every video, but if there was one place you were going to live in Atlanta without a car, Midtown, you could probably get away with that because there's enough of Marta stations and buses, and you can just walk to kind of all your conveniences that you need right in the Midtown area. So if you want to get away without having a car, Midtown would be the spot for that. One thing you're going to notice as I'm walking around the Midtown area is you're going to see a lot of cranes and a lot of new high-rise buildings being built. These are all going to be apartment buildings. They're not new condo buildings. Why? I don't know. Obviously, there are people out there smarter than me that have done the numbers, and it makes sense to build more apartment buildings rather than condo buildings, but I will say a lot of people want some newer condo buildings, but they probably just cost a lot more to make than an apartment building. But they're building this new one here. It's called the Rambler. It's off of Peachtree and 4th Street. But I would say in general, apartment buildings here, you know, if you want a decent one bedroom apartment, you're probably going to be paying $1,800 to $2,000, and 2 bedrooms can be $2,500, $3,000. Now, a lot of the condo buildings that you can purchase a condo unit here, a lot of the buildings here have been built in the early 2000s. That's when there was a big condo building boom. So some of them can look a little dated. I mean, some condo buildings have done a great job of updating the interior lobbies of their buildings. Some of the units can still look original, and they'll usually cost a little bit less. But I'd say, you know, there's a core like 4 or 5 that are right here off of Peachtree Street. And Peachtree is kind of like the heart of the Midtown area. I would say anywhere from like 14th Street to like 7th Street. That's going to be like the super core where you're going to find most of the high-rise condo buildings. And then you'll find a few scattered here and there off of the main road of Peachtree Street. So if you want something a little bit quieter, you probably don't want to live on Peachtree Street. But if you want to be on the heart of it all and watch the parades go by on Peachtree, then yeah, you want to find something here on Peachtree. And I'm about to head into block, let's see, 6th Street. Between 6th and 7th and 8th, you're going to find some of those high-rise buildings that I was talking about. Let me go show you those here up close. Okay, so I'm on Peachtree Street, right between 6th and 7th Streets, and there's a couple of condo buildings right here. Right behind me, this is Spire. This was built in 2005. A 1-bedroom condo you can find anywhere from like $300,000 to $350,000, and a 2-bedroom you're going to be paying anywhere from $480,000 to $600,000 on average. But it has some nice amenities. It has a pool. Of course, all these high-rises are going to have a parking garage and a gym and a nice lobby area and community space. And then right behind me across the street is another building, a Viewpoint. They have some great views of the Midtown area and downtown area. Viewpoint's a little bit more expensive. Their HOA is a little bit more expensive, but a 1-bedroom will run you around $335,000 up to $400,000, and a 2-bedroom like around $400,000 to $600,000. But again, really nice amenities that you can find in this building as well. I would say the parking spaces in this garage are a little bit tighter, so just keep that in mind. But there are some great amenities outside of the buildings right here. There's some places to eat. There's the Fresh to Order. There's a Starbucks on the corner. There's also a Dunkin' Donuts. There's a CVS behind me. So there are some places to eat if you're looking for something quick. And also the Marta station is just a couple blocks away, so it's super easy to get access to that. The Midtown area is definitely a vibe, but hey, you know, if Peachtree is a little too noisy for you, like I said earlier, just look at some condo buildings that are a street over. It can feel way different, a little bit calmer and quieter. There's definitely some boutique condo buildings, but sometimes those cost a little bit more because it's a smaller number of units and the HOA fees can cost more. I'm walking down at Peachtree Place. This is just south of 10th Street. And right behind me, this is an old credit union. The plans were to tear this down and they were going to be building a 30-story mixed-use building, apartments or office space, commercial space. It's called the Stratus. I don't know what the plans are right now. I haven't heard anything more about it, but you'll see behind me, these are some older condo buildings. So if you're not into the high-rise, want something mid-rise, this could be an option behind me. You know, there is the risk of your views could eventually be blocked because of this potential tower that could be built right here. I'm about to hit another Marta stop that is here between 10th and Peachtree Place and West Peachtree Street. So I'd say this is probably one of the more popular Midtown Marta options here in the Midtown area because it's kind of smack dab in the center of this neighborhood. So I'm just across the street from the Marta station, and right behind me, I remember when this used to just be a parking lot, and now there is this huge apartment complex there. There's also a coffee shop at the bottom, even a Mexican restaurant. I mean, this area around Midtown has definitely changed. A lot of areas here in the Midtown area have changed. I feel like it changes every year. There's also a stop here if you are attending Georgia Tech. They have a Stinger bus that stops here, so if you're looking for a ride over to the Georgia Tech campus, you can certainly come here for a ride. And that's one thing I love about Midtown too, is you're just gonna get a variety of people that live here. I just saw a Delta flight attendant. She was walking probably home from a shift and she had her carry-on luggage. And then you'll see the Georgia Tech students and young professionals. So you just get a mix of people that live in the Midtown area. And it's just a cool place to be. And everything I've been doing, you guys, I've been doing it on foot. It is totally walkable. Now, if you want some super convenient living, one place you should consider is Plaza Midtown. This is made up of 2 towers. I would say a 1-bedroom can run you anywhere from $300,000 to $345,000. A 2-bedroom, you're going to pay anywhere from $450,000 to $600K, maybe a little bit more if it's more updated. Of course, there's some nice amenities, a pool, a gym, that kind of thing. But what I like about this building is it's very convenient to a lot of things. There is a Publix literally at the base of this building, so you can do all of your grocery shopping. There's a liquor store across the street if you want that, and also catty corner from this is the Marta station, so very, very easy walk. And this is also a very convenient location if you are a Georgia Tech student. I know there's a lot of parents that come and buy a condo for their kid so they can attend Georgia Tech. This is probably 5 blocks up from the Georgia Tech campus. So if you're watching this and you want to know where to put your kid, you're going to buy a condo, watch my video about where to live near Georgia Tech. I got you covered in that video. Now, one thing I will say about condos in general here in the Midtown area, like I said, these were all built kind of early 2000s, and they had a certain clientele in mind. They had kind of that younger crowd to attract and live in the Midtown area. So a lot of the condos will be this like concrete ceiling or concrete walls, that kind of thing. So it's definitely kind of a younger feel, but a lot of newer condo buildings just haven't been built in this area. It's all been apartments. There are a couple of newer condo buildings that have been built in the Midtown area, but they are all luxury condos, and they're kind of catering to more of that older clientele that maybe is not, working in their first job and has saved up a little bit, because then those condos start in the $1 million range and go up to $2 million. So, and they're definitely a lot more luxury feel. I'm going to head up Spring Street, but if I would head back the other way on Spring Street, you could just walk down Spring Street up to 5th Street, or I should say down to 5th Street, and that's where you're going to get into like that Georgia Tech corridor and campus area. Some restaurants all along Spring Street. Very easy street to walk on if you are a Georgia Tech student. But let me walk up this hill and around the corner, and I'm going to talk about a new development that is already in the works here in Midtown. I'm standing behind one of the latest developments here in the Midtown area. It is called a 1072 West Peachtree. I don't know if that's the official name, but that's the address anyway. It's replacing an old post office that used to be there, and that has obviously been torn down, and now they're building a 60-story tower. It's going to be the tallest tower that has been built in the last 30 years here in the Atlanta area. If you're wondering what the tallest building is in Atlanta, that goes to the Bank of America building in the downtown area. I love that building. It's just a beautiful piece of the skyline here in Atlanta. But this building, no, it's not going to be condos. It's going to be luxury apartments, office space, commercial space, that kind of thing. But hey, if you're looking for a luxury condo building here in Midtown, one of the newer buildings that has been built here is 40 West 12th, and that is along 12th Street and West Peachtree. It's connected to the Google office building, and there's also an Epicurean hotel. So it takes up a whole block, but there are some condos here. These were built in 2021. They're going to cost anywhere from $1.2 million up to $2.1 million. And they are just really, really nicely done. It has a nice appliance package, wraparound decks, and you guys, the amenities in this building are amazing. It has a really, really nice gym. It has enclosed storage units, and the pool situation is amazing. They've got an outdoor pool that they share with hotel guests, but then there's also an indoor pool that is only for residents of 40 West 12. So definitely, if you are looking for something higher end, you should be checking out 40 West 12. Now, across the street from it, there is kind of this blank space. There used to be some like small little buildings. There used to be like, I don't know, a tobacco store and a bar and that kind of thing. It got torn down. Actually, a building got caught on fire, and so I think it just kind of helped out the developer to demolish it all, and eventually it's going to have a mixed-use commercial buildings that will be going in that spot. So there's always something going on in Midtown. Honestly, it's so hard to keep up with everything that's going on. Okay, I'm at 14th Street and West Peachtree, and there is a Whole Foods grocery store. This opened up probably like 5-6 years ago, so a great addition to the Midtown area. But if you're wanting grocery store options besides the Publix I pointed out there and this Whole Food, there's also a Trader Joe's on the edge of the Midtown area. There's also another Whole Foods off of Ponce de Leon right across from Ponce City Market. There's a Kroger over in the Ansley Park Mall shopping area along with another Publix. So definitely a lot of grocery stores that you can get to pretty easily from Midtown. But if you're wanting something walkable, the Whole Foods, the Publix, or even the Trader Joe's are going to be your best bets. Oh, I forgot there's one other Publix there off of North Avenue. So pretty easy to get to a grocery store here in Midtown. All right, I just rounded the corner of 15th Street and West Peachtree, and you're gonna find the Marta station here. It's called the Art Center, Marta Transit Center, and there's basically around here you're gonna find some office space, hotels, and some apartment buildings. I'm gonna make my way up back over to Peachtree Road, the main road through Midtown, and I'll show you some of the art scene. But while I'm walking up this giant hill, I thought let's do a little pros and cons of living in Midtown. And I would say one of the pros is definitely it's walkable. You could go carless. It has highly ranked schools if you're looking for public schools. And you know, if you're wanting a city vibe, you certainly can get that here. Now some cons, one would be that, you know, condo units here in Midtown I find are a little bit smaller, a little bit less square footage than you could find in the Buckhead area, for example. And Midtown's gonna feel a little bit more condensed. You know, they just pack in the buildings here in the Midtown area. And also one thing I found a lot of people expect, and it's just not really a thing here in the Midtown area, there's no shopping. So I guess you could view that as a pro or a con, but if you're looking for boutique shopping and that kind of thing, you're not gonna find that in Midtown. You will find a lot of restaurants, but you're not gonna find shopping. Now, if you are into the art scene, this is where you will want to probably hang out. This is the Woodruff Art Center. They have the Atlanta Symphony. There's the Alliance Theater. And right behind me here, you can see this is the High Museum of Art. They have a cute little kids play center. They even do summer camps for the kids. My daughter loved the summer camp here. And you know, I mentioned some high-end newer condo units, and one of those buildings is right across the street from the High Museum, and that is One Museum Place. Let me turn around here so you can see them. Now these are going to cost you a pretty penny. They're going to be anywhere from 1.5 up to $3.7 million. Very few units, I'd say probably 40 or 50, so it's going to feel very boutique-ish and small and private. They are beautiful units and modern in style. So okay, you guys, I'm getting thirsty. I'm going to walk over to a place where you can grab something to eat and drink, and that is Colony Square. If you're looking for something to eat, stop around 14th and Peachtree Street. It's called Colony Square. There's a bunch of little restaurants, and there's a food hall called Politan Row where you can get some great bites there. There's a cool lawn that they'll do events like St. Patty's Day festivals. And by the way, when they do parades, they're gonna go right down Midtown on Peachtree Street, so don't miss that when that happens. A lot of fun to watch. I'm gonna go grab something to drink or maybe a smoothie, and I'll show you around this cool little square. Cool little spot to hang out, right? Okay, if you are a newcomer to Atlanta and you're driving down Peachtree and 14th Street, you're gonna see this building that you think it looks like it's under construction, which it is, but it's been under construction for I don't know how many years. It used to be a SunTrust bank building, and then they merged with Truist. Their new building is downtown, and now this building has just been sitting here as an eyesore. I actually don't really know what's going on with it. I don't know if it's going to become more commercial space or what the deal is, but I feel like it's been like this for probably 5+ years. So come on, developer, get with it. Another popular condo building here in Midtown is right across the street from me, 1010 Midtown. Now a 1-bedroom here could cost anywhere from a $350 to $420, and a 2-bedroom anywhere from $625 up to $850. They have some nice amenities there as well. A pretty good, decent gym, a pool, a community area, of course. And right across the street is Cafe Intermezzo. If you're looking for some really fancy coffee or like more cakes than you can choose from, go to Cafe Intermezzo. Okay, so this is something new, Prime on Peachtree. This used to be kind of nothing. It used to be a nightclub, and then it closed down, and then there was nothing for a while. Now there's like a cigar lounge. There is a restaurant. I haven't been there, so I'm guessing there's more of a night scene there. And that's one thing in Midtown, if you're thinking there's like a bar district or bar street, I think the best thing is to go over to Crescent Avenue, and there's a few different clubs right there, but there's not like a huge clubbing scene in the Midtown area. But hey, if you've got a dog, right here at 10th and Peachtree, there is a small little dog park here. But believe me, you want to take them over to Piedmont Park, to the big dog park. That is like going to Disney World. One sad development is Henry's. This was a very popular patio spot for people in Midtown to come hang out at, get something to eat, get something to drink. It's right off of 10th and Juniper. It has closed down. I think the rent just got expensive and the owner couldn't afford it anymore. So one other thing I'm going to mention is right up a half a block. So if you live anywhere or rent anywhere close to 10th and Juniper, there is a fire station there and it is active. You'll hear the fire truck come out all the time. You're going to hear that siren. So if you are a light sleeper, you may not want to be renting or buying a condo that is right along this block of 10th and Juniper. So I just crossed over 10th and Piedmont, which means I am back at Piedmont Park. Okay, you guys, I took a big loop around Midtown to show you as many sites as I could of this fun neighborhood. Now, if you're thinking about making a move to the Atlanta area and you want further help with your home search, reach out to me, shoot me a text, give me a call, send me an email. Thanks for hanging with me today. And if you run into me, make sure you say hello. I want to say thank you for watching my channel. I really appreciate you. But you guys, I hope you liked Midtown. Definitely a very walkable area. Lots to do, lots to see, but you know what? My legs are tired and it is getting hot. So thanks for joining me today. Until next time, you guys, I'll see you around the neighborhood.